Welcome everybody back to the 950 Club. Happy Pride Month to everybody out there. And today we are back for our latest installment of 950 Club interviews. And today we have our first LA based voice actor. You can hear her voice in Lil Kev. You can hear her voice in Rooster Fighter, uh, Witch Watch, a bunch of other stuff. I think she has an incredible voice, and I think she's going to be a powerhouse in the voice acting animation space moving forward. So today we have the lovely and talented Kimoy Lee with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good, good. So the first question that we always ask is, what is your origin story into acting? And since we're anime based, into anime.
My origin story into acting was pretty much like I was in school. I opened up a school and then I got married and then I lost the school. And then in 2023 of October, end of October, like Halloween time, I was like, wow, what am I good at? I worked at a comic book store from like sophomore year, like junior, sophomore year till like senior year of high school. Because I was raised in South Africa, but we came here to Los Angeles when I was like 16. And I graduated early. I had a lot of time on my hands. And my mom was like, you should work at this comic book store. Every single time at this comic book store, anyone who came in was like, you should be a voice actor. And it's simply because I would come in and be like, welcome to it was
Mm.
called Meltdown Comics. It was on Sunset Boulevard. And I just something in 2023 snapped in me because I had joked about it and I had family members and people around me um like making me like the voices.com thing like I'm gonna do this for you girl like you gotta be in this and it was just always like a running joke um and it was always a running joke and basically I just made an at home demo and I just, it was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of like me doing as many impressions as I can. And I sent it, I looked up like the top age, like the agencies for voiceover, and I
Mm.
sent them in and I heard back from like pretty much all of them in some capacity. Some had waitlisted me. One wanted me to take this class. One wanted me to freelance. But the one that wanted me to come in for an actual read for them was CESD.
Mm.
And then I was signed with them quickly. The day I was signed, I booked an audiobook. Um, because a lot of things were emerging at the same time. Like my
Mm.
marriage was falling apart. I just gotten married, but my marriage was falling apart. I was starting to make like friends within the community. Like you know when you do something that like you've been running from that you feel like you've been running from your whole life and then when you do it everything happens. It was like
Mm.
an audio like Spotify had emailed me for an audiobook, but I didn't advertise myself as a voice actor. Like you know what I mean? It was like that.
Mm.
It was CESC asking me for a read, like everything kind of just like lined up. And the day that I signed with CESD was the day that they were like, yeah, we would like you for this book. And then after that was like, I want to say like a month after that, in November, I'm out here dueling. I'm like watching twins and stuff like that, and I'm doing auditions. But I'm playing around. I honestly had no idea. I'd never taken any class, nothing. But I was just like having a ball on these auditions. Like not take. I didn't know like the etiquette of like properly slating, or I would just be like, my name is Kimoy Lee. I'm gonna fuck this shit up. Like you know what I mean? I like do like
Mm.
really crazy stuff. And I got that Kevin Hart audition the for Lil Kev, and I just remember being like, "Oh." I know black comedy. I was like, this, I know black comedy really well. And I was just kind of like, I remember saying something, some line, and I was like, I'm special needs, or something like that. I was like, I'm not, I was it, what was it? It's like, oh yeah, I'm not a R word, I'm special needs. And I was just like playing around with the audition, and literally I heard back and I booked it. It was like a little bit of a process in a sense of like they wanted me like they didn't have me read extra, but the casting, Julie Ashton, who's an amazing casting director, she just wanted to hear from me and like know my backstory because she was like apparently they did like 3 rounds looking for this
Mhm.
character and I was only in the last round, so it was like she was just wanted to see what how long I've been acting, and we were just completely honest. And yeah, I was enrolling in classes at that point and was, actively trying to become a better actor because I was like, oh crap, I think this acting is real.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, I think that's how I got into acting in general. I guess how I got into like more of the anime space was at that point I had like it had been like 6 months in, and I've always been a fan of anime. I was like a president of my anime club in middle school,
Oh,
and
cool.
like when in the comic book store, like I ran like the manga section.
Okay.
um, and so like I've always been into anime, and that was one of the things that I was like really gunning for when I spoke to my agents because I had booked the Kevin Hart thing, and then they were like, "Oh, this is great," and I was like, "Yeah, but I want to do anime," and they're and they were like, "Oh, now I'm cool off anime though a little bit. I would actually like to do Disney, but I feel like I have
Hmm.
these like checklists in my head." And so like Rooster Fighter was very much that for me where I was like, I just want to book an anime lead and then I'll be good. And now I'm good off that.
Hmm.
Love anime though, but like I'm. And so basically I had auditioned for Rooster Fighter. I got a call back, but I didn't hear anything. And I even emailed my agent and I was like, "Do you think?" And he was like, "Nah, girl, clip it. Cut it." And I was
Hmm.
like, "No worries." You know what I mean? That was my first call back too, and I was like, and then I had been in the space at that point, like after the Kevin Hart show, been in that acting space of like taking classes and learning like who's who, what studio is working with what studio is this. So I had my eye on Bang Zoom. I was like,
Hmm.
I was like, y'all be recording a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and I just familiarized myself with the classes because like they offer classes.
Right.
Um, and I I remember getting a redirect for something for them, and then got called in, and it was crazy. The week I got called in for Syrup for Witch Watch
Hmm.
is the same week that Rooster Fighter had called me a year later. They called me a year later
Wow.
to tell me that I got it off the callback. And I called I remember Sam calling my agent. He called
Hmm.
me and he was like, "Oh, you got the role for Rooster Fighter." And then like literally that same week it was like, "Oh, here's the role of Syrup for Witch Watch from the student council." So I was like, "Wow, I just entered anime world." Like I was like, "Whoa."
Hmm.
But it was crazy because I thought in my head Rooster Fighter was going to be like my first ever recording anime, but it was actually Witch Watch was the very
Wow.
first session, my very first anime session, which I still remember to this day. I dressed up as Syrup, kind of, and I brought a
Uh,
teddy bear, and I love Bang Zoon for like the female power in there. Like you have Mami Okada, you have like, Laura was doing directing, and like it's just like you have a female engineer, female director,
hmm.
female casting. Like it just I was like this was like definitely it was like healing in a lot of ways. Because I feel like especially being a girl, a black girl who like, was into anime as a kid, president of her anime club, a lot of the stuff like growing up, it was like even working at the comic book store, I had like
Hmm.
men. tell me what I like and what I should like or what
Yeah.
I should be. So it was such a full circle moment to have my very first anime session be with a bunch of women in these spaces. And like I feel so nurtured because of that, and also with Rooster Fighter, like Christy Simone was my director for the whole thing, so I just felt
Hmm.
completely spoiled. I was like, yes, I was like, like women are we're taking over. I was like, this is amazing. Not that I don't like, having a male director or having
Hmm.
like male engineers or anything, but I think it's just so powerful, especially people of color and people like
Hmm.
POC. You know what I mean? Like you have
Yes.
like POC, I had POC women in the room with me. I had women who were like, part of the LGBTQ community. I'm queer myself. It was just like something that was just so full circle and like so like life changing for me, where also it made me open my eyes that maybe I could even be in these spaces like that, not even as an
Hmm.
actor, but like as a producer, as a casting director, as a and I'm so new to acting and so green to acting that I just you know what I mean? I just in my head it was a man's world, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the default for everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what you come to expect. But that's it's like you say you kind of spoiled in the beginning there by seeing all that. But
It
that's
was
in.
very much that, yeah, because with Little Kev, it was Little Kev was my first voiceover session ever,
Mhm.
and that was everyone was black. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, hell yeah. So I was like, I'm
Mhm.
comfortable. And then for my first anime session, for everyone to be female and POC and everything, I was like, oh, this is how the world goes. And now I've kind of understood that there's a lot of
Mhm.
nuances and like that's actually not the case a lot of times. And that's why I say when I'm spoiled because it's not average. And I feel like because of it, it just altered my brain chemistry a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah. That's interesting. I can see how that could be like great and bad at the same time. It's great because everybody wants to see and to feel comfortable in a space, to feel like they belong and see that representation there. And as somebody that I'm very, very pro black and I try not to I'm trying not to be as militant as I used to be. But I still I was so excited when you responded because I'm like, you're the first black person that I was able to communicate with. And so like I think it's so important to be able to get that perspective from
Yeah.
people because and not just the black perspective, like you said, the LGBT community is Pride Month, so that is important. People that are neurodivergent, and being able to have those conversations and all sorts of things. Like I love to see that people are starting to integrate into this space where it was kind of like when I was coming up, like frowned upon, like
Yeah.
you were the weirdo. Like
That's why
there.
I was like the weird girl who, and then the people who were into the things that I was into, like when I was fucking reading Berserk and shit, I had people
Mm,
tell me how I should, like, you know what I mean? How I should operate,
yeah.
how I should feel about it, how all these like men being like, you should do this and that and da 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 and all this. And not black men, you know what I mean? Like, because I grew
Yeah.
up in South Africa and I went to a Dutch German school, so everyone was like, what? Everyone was Hitler's dream there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like,
Mhm.
it was very much like, yeah, I feel you on those in terms of like spaces and stuff like that. And like before, as having like a half, like my dad is like Chinese, so as having a
Mhm.
parent who's not black, I think I grew up a little bit like naive to like, you know what I mean? Especially in a
Yeah.
foreign country. I grew up in a
Hmm.
foreign country, not in America. And like, my mom's a lot of my mom's marriages were not black. Um, None of them. Um, love that woman though.
Hmm.
But because of that, I just feel like I was a little naive when it came to like Black American culture. And as I've grown and as I've stayed in this country for a long period of time, you can't help but be like, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you would have to be like willfully ignorant to be ignoring, you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
nuances and of everything, you
you
know?
do.
It's kind of almost impossible to be uneducated on it at this point because it's so in your face and it's so like
Hmm.
every day. So when people tell me that they don't know or they're not educated on it, I'm like, you're not watching TV. Like you're not outside. You're not having conversations with like people, you know?
You're being willfully ignorant.
Willfully
You're
ignorant,
being willfully ignorant.
which is
Because
dangerous at this point in time.
yes, it's very dangerous in that, like, I love to say that we have access to all the information in the world, but that has led to a world of disinformation and misinformation
Yep.
where people are just actively not representing the truth,
Nope.
and they have a wide reach. So you have all of this negative information, negativity, and bad information going out there that's trying to rewrite history that we have legacies of books and documentaries and all sorts of things on.
But I
And
understand on a level though that that is a privilege in a sense. I feel like people are
mhm,
willfully ignorant because when you're educated on something, you are forced to take action with it.
yes.
And so I feel like that's the part where I'm like, there is a lot of information around. There is a lot of misinformation that is being spread around. I always tell people around me and friends around me, I don't think intelligence has anything to do with how much information you do know or how much what degrees you have or what podcasts you fucking listen to or any of that. I think true intelligence is when your default is to question how you think.
Hmm.
Because in questioning how you think is going to help you research what's being misinformed. It's going to help you research what's properly informed. It's going to like, you know what I mean? It's going to motivate you to want those things for yourself.
Hmm.
So like it's very much like that. So I always tell people I'm like that's just the first step.
Yes.
When you read something, question yourself and be like, okay, this resonates with me, but why does it resonate with me? And is this true? Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
I always go into things wanting to be wrong.
Yeah.
So when I'm interested in something, I go in it looking for information that's going to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
So, if you go in with that mindset, then, you eliminate the possibility of confirmation bias, where it's just like, oh, I Googled this and this confirms what I was saying. So here, and you kind of filter out that misinformation that's out there. But I want to be wrong, and then I can adjust, and I trust myself to be
Exactly.
able to adjust and change accordingly. But I don't. I think a lot of people just they're just so quick to find like the first answer
Yeah.
to whatever is out there, and it's like I miss like journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
I miss like when we were in school and you had to do research papers
Yep.
and you
And you
had
have
to
to
cite your
verify.
sources.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you can't just have one source, you got to have five.
Yep.
And it's like, you don't really think about it at the time. It's just like, dang, well, I got to have five sources. But as you get older and being in the world that we're in now, I look back upon those times and realize the importance of finding various different sources. And
Yeah.
it's not just like the internet. It's like you went to the internet, well, before we even had like the internet, because I'm that old, like Encyclopedia Britannicas. You
Yeah.
go to the library and you're looking at old newspaper clippings and that sort of thing. And it's like, all right, you're getting this information from these different sources, from these scholarly journals or whatever. So it's this information has been verified on a number of different levels. You can trust it.
Yeah.
So I just wish that I hope that we get to a place where we're doing that again instead of just like running to TikTok or whatever is out there that's going to give us information. But
I
um
agree.
okay, so you spoke on okay, so let's do this. So you spoke on Lil Kev and you enjoyed that. Like I saw that you were able to attend some award shows. Like
Yeah.
how was that? Like to be so young in the game and to play a role and to be a part of these award shows.
I feel blessed when I get invited to these award shows. I I love BET. I love you know, I love Black entertainment. I think a lot of people, forget that like people like, Black entertainers now that we see, they kind of like can forget sometimes where they came from and the platforms that elevated them. And I definitely see um these spaces as people who have elevated me in a way and educated me. And I just think it's important to attend and like honor like, Black excellence and Black culture. Um, I will forever remember like the memories that I've made in the spaces that I've been allowed to be in because of these awards. And I'm always surprised when like I'm like the shows are nominated for anything. It makes me realize that there are people watching and there are people who are tuned in and there are people who care. Um so yeah, that's how I feel about them spaces. Them outfits are hard to find though.
I don't even want to think about what kind of time and effort went into making an outfit like that because I'd
Oh,
still dress like a
not even
child.
anything. I
So
literally landed off a plane from London with zero money. I had like $50 in my bank account, and I went to a fabric store with my friend, and we literally overnight, like, we took an old cocktail dress I had and then wrapped ribbons around it and decided to like pin ribbons on it and then put ribbons in my hair. And I was like, that's the look for the NAACP. Great. For the BET Awards, I freaking rented a dress
mm,
for the anything for like any carpet that I've done like for the San Diego Comic Con and Entertainment Weekly. I literally got like one of the tutus was for like $50. I wore a Pokemon shirt and heels and I was like,
mm.
this is real. This is me. I just went, that's it.
See that's like my kind of style because I would just like anytime it's time for me to like go out for someplace and I like have to dress like an adult. Like I'm like, all right, let me run to the store, let me grab something real quick. $30 in and out,
You have to
or
get
$50 in and out.
crafty. You have to get
Yeah.
crafty because it's expensive. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive. Are you kidding me? I would love to wear if Dior ever saw this. If anyone like if Dior, I'm sure I'm gonna like send Dior this podcast, but Dior, Chanel, Jacquemus, Miu Miu, like if you guys send me anything, like I'll know what to do with it. Just I
Mm-hmm.
can't afford you right now.
See, I wouldn't even know what to do with anything like that.
Oh no, I know what to do.
I don't know what to do with
Give
anything
me
like
some
that.
guitar. I know exactly what to do with it. But give me, I literally was like crying on the phone to my mom and sister yesterday, and they were like, "What can we do? How can we help you?" And I was like, "I need 50 bands right now." They're like, "What's gonna make you feel better?" I was like, "50 bands right now."
That would definitely make me feel better.
That makes me feel better for
That would
sure.
make me feel a lot better. I can
People
do a
are like, "Where are
lot
you coming
with
up with these
50.
numbers?" I was like, "I know exactly what I'd do with it, okay? I'd have an index fund, I'd have a growth index fund, and then I'd have an S&P index fund. I'd put some money in my in fucking HSYA account, all
Mm,
right, on that SoFi. I'm on Vanguard, okay? I'd up my pension. I'd up my pension. I'd re-up my credit card. I'd uh put 10K in savings, and then I'll just funnel and channel the money through that. And I
mm,
might buy a bag, yeah, but like, I'll be smart with it. Just give me 50 bands, somebody.
50 bands is I wouldn't that's all I need. Like, I don't even care if Uncle Sam took half. Like I would be able to
No,
do
I care if Uncle
so
Sam took
much.
half,
I
actually.
would I could
I
work
need
with it.
50 bands to get me till September.
50,000 could get me to September easily. It can get me to September easily because I don't really spend a lot of money on much except like every now and then I'll get a new game like maybe like this game is on PlayStation. Let me go get it now
Yeah.
instead of waiting
I
two
think
years for it to go for free on PlayStation Plus.
I think LA is just very, that's the thing, is that LA culture. It's just so expensive to live out here. I walk out the door and it's like $100. It's just so, uh
Hey, look, it ain't no cheaper out here either. Like
oh, in Chicago. Really? Because
Chicago
my
is
friend was
not
telling
cheap.
she lives in New York and she's like, I want to move to Chicago because I feel like it'd be so much more cheaper.
It might be a little cheaper than New York, but it ain't that much.
Really?
I mean, it is not that much.
Because
It's
they live in a small apartment, but they pay a lot of money. So they were like, we could get a bigger space.
maybe,
I think it's all like what
maybe.
you do for work as well. I think it's like what you work, right? Like you're not gonna have no LA, like as a doula, for example, as a doula, I get paid like 50, anywhere between 50 to $75 an hour, right?
Hmm.
But if I went to fucking like Utah or whatever, it's like $30, 20, 25, $30 an hour. So it's like of the spaces you're living in. Now, if I was making
Yeah,
LA money in Utah, then that's a different story. But
totally different.
it's impossible to do that though, because rent in LA is like it. I'm not going anywhere today. I'm waiting on a ride actually for my day trip
Hmm.
because I came home yesterday from New York and um my gas tank is empty. I'm cool off that. I don't feel like spending $100 on gas right now.
No.
Like it, the saxophones that sound where it's like like the
Yeah, yeah,
saxophones get
yeah, yeah,
louder. That's what
yeah.
I sing that every. I guarantee I sing that every time I'm pumping gas now. I'm like, it's just getting scary out, spooky out here.
It is bad. I'm at like a quarter a tank now, and I am like, please just get me to when I
Get
get
me.
paid
That was
next.
me last night. Me last night on my way to my sister's house because she lives 10 minutes away, and I said, "It's gonna get me here and back." Like that's
It's just like just get me
all
because
I
I don't want
got.
to pay like I mean gas is like over $5 a gallon here.
Oh, it's
So
like easily seven here.
yeah, it's like over five. And that's like the cheap gas. So like I'm like
It's
I
$7 at the place around the corner for me. I'm like,
I
whoa,
I don't like it because
no.
I'm used to spending like maybe like 30-35 bucks to like
Yes,
fill up my gas tank, and now it's like 60-70.
it's over $100 for me. It's like I don't even know how to describe like just the way that like finances have been bumped up. It's
Mm.
insane. It's insane. This economy is crazy.
Is this economy, it's not it's not what it needs to be. The cost of living does not match
No.
what the a livable wage. And so we're all out here trying to figure out how this works. And that's where we can all come together because nobody wants to spend that much money on gas or when eggs was like $20 a carton. Nobody wants that.
Nobody.
So, we can all come together on some things. Please just like stop fighting over nonsense. Um, okay, so Cookie Run Kingdom. Like,
Yeah.
how important was like that role to you? I like that. Because I saw the post like because that happened. You said you were going to donate like half of your earnings to foster pets after like the LA fire or something.
Yeah, I
So
did.
yeah, so like that's a big heart of you to do something like that.
Oh,
So
thank you. I didn't even think that people saw that properly because I like put
oh
that in my thing. But
no,
no, it
the
was
research is
um
extensive.
no, thank you. No, it was literally, yeah, that role definitely changed my life in a sense of like I have a nice decent following and I've been able to connect with so many people who are fans of the game through it and connect with so many people and I feel like I do have like a family in a sense like a Cookie Run family. Like a Cookie Run, if it wasn't for Cookie Run, I wouldn't have met a lot of friends that are in my life today. But yeah, the first few checks that I got from it, I did donate to Pasadena Humane, and some other stuff that were going on was going on for the fires, which is not that much in the grand scheme of things. So it's
No,
not
no.
as much money as people think, but um I just
Everything is something.
yes.
Anything is more than nothing.
I was just feeling like in a really I just wanted to give back because I just felt like at that time I felt so surrounded. Everything was so new and I felt so surrounded by love. But I felt I will forever be grateful to Cookie Run because it's if it wasn't for Cookie Run, I wouldn't have met like some of the best people in my life.
That is it's I'm glad that you had that experience because it's good to be able to meet new people and
Yeah.
to be able to connect like that, especially as we get older, and as the circle gets a little smaller. It's nice to have somebody new come in and be like, yeah, you know
I
what,
think I
you fit
definitely
into
met
this.
my forever people through Cookie Run, 100%.
Mhm. That's cool.
100%.
um you know what, let's do this. So it's interesting that you say that you used to work at a comic book shop because well, or me and shout out to Edwin and Jack, my co-host. Like we all met because we worked at the same bookstore together. and
Yes.
so and so this is kind of like the genesis of our story too, because Edwin, he would kind of like be like the he ordered all the pretty much ordered all the comic books and the manga for us and in the sci-fi. And so it'll be like because we worked in the airport, so the different terminals had different stories.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we'd be like, hey Edwin, we what do we need over here? We only have this, and he'll say, all right, you gotta get yeah, Attack on Titan, you gotta get this, you gotta get that, you gotta get that, and just fill the whole thing up. And like that was like the genesis because we would just sit there and like, talk about like anime and everything. And so um working in the comic book store, like did you read a lot at the time too?
Oh yeah, I was reading a lot of Image at the time. It was like that
Okay.
Alex and Ada era. It was like
Mm-hmm.
the saga had like, Brian K. Vaughan had just like
Mm-hmm.
been on his rise with like Deadly Class and like, it was like a good time in comics for me. I know everyone hated like the New 52, but I loved it. I wasn't a fan of Rebirth as much, but I did love when DC branched out and did that the young animal stuff with Gerard Way.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely like I had read everything on the shelves because I had kind of stuck to my manga and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I read Absolute Boyfriend and I read Blackbird and I like Berserk and I like Tokyo Ghoul and you know what I mean? I was like I was doing all this and they were like, well, if you're gonna work here, you need to like branch out. And I did, and it made me really fall in love with like Marvel is not my favorite comic book wise. There are some
Mm-hmm.
runs that I really um appreciated like Silk, like random stuff like MODOK and like the funny ones. But they just have so many like alternate like universe. I did read like
Yeah.
Civil War 2 as it was going on, I remember at the time, and because I wanted to like be in the know of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Moon Girl and Devil's Dinosaur was something that I picked up. And then in terms of like DC, I really enjoyed. I don't enjoy DC cinematically, but I do enjoy. I think
Mm-hmm.
they do have the best comic books. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so just read it like just like upping on my like you know I was in like my DC bag, but I feel like the publisher that really like grabbed me hook, line, and sinker was Image. I think
Image.
I've read almost everything from Image, like East of West, like
Mm-hmm.
like all of it, and
Yeah.
it just built in a. I hate Fairyland. I'm a huge fan of Scotty Young, and I have almost all of his prints, his like variant, his Marvel variants. I have all like almost all of them. Um, and I have like a lot of hip hop variants as well that Marvel was doing at the time,
Mm-hmm.
which I really like.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I got into a lot of that kind of stuff. I've kind of dipped out of it a little bit. I think I'm like one of those people where like when things get like a little I was very much that kid like where like I have so many siblings and I don't have a lot of things to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I like kept it to myself. So I think I just hold on to like my nerdy shit and I keep it to myself. Now that there's like a big following with it, I'm like, where were you bitches at when I was getting like my hair cut? Like, yeah, I'm like, where were you go at when I was getting my hair cut in high school? Because what? Like, do you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like when I was
Yeah.
getting bullied and
Mm-hmm.
I was not invited to prom. No one asked me to prom. And I spent my prom in a back of a fucking comic book store. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, where were y'all at? Because now there's a little bit too much of y'all out here. Love it though. Love that it's all the stuff is getting the recognition that it deserves. But I just kind of have kind of like I haven't picked up a book like a comic book in I want to say like a couple years. There are some titles
Mm-hmm.
that I will read because like people are like you gotta read this, but like in terms of like I had like a whole I have a in storage I have a whole comic book shelf. I
Mm-hmm.
bagged and boarded my shit, bought double of any first printing, um and like was there freaking every Wednesday. I was even there like when I was working at a comic book store. I was even there like I love Tuesdays because I was like picking it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a poll list, and I think it just like kind of like I don't know. Also money. So like
Yeah.
I became an actor and I was like, this is kind of getting expensive. Even like doing the Comixology thing, like the Comixology app, I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's too expensive.
It does
But
get pricey.
I guess pricey and I think one day I'm gonna get back into I always say that. I'm like, when I have the money and everything is fine and I'm an actor and I'm a homeowner, I will dip my head back into being a full comic book reader and being in the know. But as of
Mm-hmm.
now, no, I've kind of it has been like a year or two since I've like actually like dipped my head into things.
No worries. Like I read, but I don't read like comics or manga or anything. Like,
Mm.
'cause if I want to be entertained, I want to watch it. But if I want to
Mm.
learn something, I want to read it. So, like, every once in a while, I'll get like too interested in something and be like,
That's what
you
happened to
know
me with
what?
Magic. That was me with Magic last year, and I was like, "Yeah, I got these pre-con decks. Let's play." But then people started rocking up with their own shit, all these own decks, and they're like, "Yeah, these are my. I've been working on this deck for years." And I'm like, oh, how much did that cost? $200. This card $200. What?
I couldn't do it. And see
What?
that once the money starts to get involved, that's when I like it ruins the fun for me.
Yes.
Like I used to like collect basketball jerseys like
Mm,
all the time. Like,
mm,
and I had to get rid of a bunch. I was forced to. Um, but it'll be like after every NBA finals or whatever. I got to get a basketball jersey. I got to get a cap. Like it got ridiculous, and now the jerseys are so darn expensive. Now I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not keeping up with this anymore. I'm not. Um, but it's that's just how it kind of goes. Like you get into like the fandom of something, and
Yeah.
then other people start to become fans of it, which
And
blows up the
everything gets
price.
so expensive.
Yeah, yeah, and it's
That's
just
why I'm like, where were all y'all? Because now y'all making the lines a little too long.
yeah,
Y'all making the lines a little too long. Y'all making
yeah,
this shit a little too hard to acquire. And
too
I
much.
can't stand it.
And the price of the brick definitely went up, and I don't like that because it's like you want to think there. We need more things that are just like a low point of entry in terms
Yeah.
of like money. And when people get too interested in that and they inflate the price of everything, it ruins like the fun that
Well,
this kid over here can have.
I think that's why things like mahjong and chess
Hmm.
and D&D are like on the rise of like group
Yeah.
gaming because at the end of the
Hmm.
day, imagination. You know what I mean? Like it costs nothing to like play a game of chess with someone. It costs nothing to play mahjong with people and connect with people because people are honestly just like
Hmm.
looking for that kind of like social
Yeah.
connection without having to break the bank. So I think that's why we're seeing like the rise of like D&D. I do also think that's why we're seeing the rise of like Magic games like Magic as well. Even though Magic the cards can get expensive, a lot of people if there are places that you can go like every Wednesday and just play with a pre-con and other people will
Hmm.
play commander with a pre-con deck with you. Like you know what I mean? Or let you borrow their deck or you know what I mean? That's also the thing that I'm probably not highlighting as well is that like everyone that I've ever played Magic with has had multiple decks that they will let me play with
Hmm.
if they're not playing with pre-cons in the game and like it's just like community it's just giving like community and like there are those spaces where you do get that community at that's why I'm saying I'm happy that things are getting the recognition that they deserve but there also has to be like an emphasis on like helping each other out and
Hmm.
like having some sort of community.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm glad that we have the advent of the internet, um, because it allows for more flexibility. It's like older now, people have kids, people have jobs, work different schedules. You can't like always get together when you want to.
Yep.
But it's like, hey, we can all get Borderlands and play when we sync up times or whatever.
Yep.
So we have that. But I do miss like back in the day when you had to go knock on somebody's door and play the split screen for people on a 13-inch screen playing GoldenEye. Like
Yes.
I miss those days, because that it's a different feel when you're in person together. You Circling back to something that you mentioned earlier, like audiobook narration. So
Yeah.
how was it to narrate, an audiobook, and like the difference in like your audiobook narration style with like Witch Watch or that sort of thing.
I think with narration, um, I think with narration, I'm dyslexic, so
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Audiobooks and narration are not my favorite thing. Um, but I think it's just very much world building and with like things like animation, everything's already kind of like built for you, and
Right.
you rely on like extra sounds, and you know that someone's going to be watching it, as where when you're narrating something, you kind of have to build the world, you kind of have to like spark the feeling. I will say I've recently finished an amazing audio book. It's like the second installment of a book by Giselle Rishin called Why We Fight the Tide, and it comes out this June 9th.
Mm-hmm.
um, and reading this one, the first one, it was a shit show for me just because I was sick. And
Oh
like,
no.
it was also my very first audiobook. So like I didn't know. But now I've gotten a couple audiobooks and narration projects under my belt that I came back to this one, and it was just beautiful to be able to read it. Um, it was just beautiful to be able to read
Mm-hmm.
it and to world build some more, right? I had already built the world, but to like listen back to the first book and like change the accents of like some people and like the tone in their voice, and like making the main character a little older because it's been some time, and like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Adding things. There's something, it's incredible. Narration is incredible. People who narrate audiobooks on the regular are incredible because they're world building with their
Mm-hmm.
voice. Do you know what I mean? I
Yes.
think I've never
Yes.
had
Absolutely.
to. I don't think I've ever had to. Not to say I rely on the props and the foley of it all for animation, but you know, a lot of that's there to add to it. So I think people who do audiobooks and do them well are. I think it's like a really good. It's like it's one of those things of like, for me, have this analogy of it is like, when you take a handwriting class, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like you're just like writing the same sentence over and over again, but
Yeah.
like you're getting your handwriting, you're getting your signature, you're getting, you know what I mean? And you're retaining information. It's just like exercising your brain, your acting brain at its full capacity,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so much more beneficial to acting than one would think. You know what I mean?
I get it. I get it. And I think it's important. I think people are starting to understand the importance of like somebody that, has some training or that's a professional in it. Because for me, it's very much if your voice doesn't work for me, I can't. I've ruined podcasts for people because I'm like,
Mm.
how can you listen to this? Like the way this person talks, it's just it doesn't work. And once I said it, like they're like, you ruined. I can't listen to this podcast anymore because you ruined it for me because of the way
Yeah,
the person read it. And the same for audiobooks and anything like that. And that's why I have such an appreciation for the work that you and your colleagues do because it's different. Like you can tell the difference because, like you said, there's work you have to do. You just have your voice to rely on, and
yeah,
you really have to set the tone in the setting, and you're like you said, you're building this world with your voice, and
exactly.
you're keeping me engaged in this. Like when if you're reading the audio book, I don't want you to just read it like I would read it in my head. Like
Mm-hmm.
these characters are going to have voices, they're going to have feelings, they're going to have these emotions, and if you're not portraying that while you're reading, it's going to I'm not going to be able to engage in the book that I would like in the way that I would
Mm.
like to. So, I really I really think that it's a good service that you all do to provide that. And I lost my train of thought there. I lost my train of thought. Um,
It's a good service that we provide.
yeah. Well, I appreciate. Let me just put it out there. I appreciate what you do, and I hope that in this world of AI and things, I hope that it's not taken advantage of by publishers or you know people that are producing these things because it does make a difference. And I you hear when you talk to people, I would hear people say like, I got this audio book, and I work in the office, so all people do is listen to music and
Yeah.
audiobooks and podcasts. So they'll be like, all right, some people they got like a little book club where everybody will listen to
Read
the
and talk
same
about it.
audiobook and
Yeah.
talk about it. And when you hear like, oh, I can't listen to this because the person isn't reading it right,
Yeah.
you don't really think of it as like this is an actor. You just hearing the voice.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, you'll see later on, like, oh wow, I like that. I like the way they read it. Who was
Yeah.
it? And that will cause you to start listening to, all right, is this person reading it? All right, yeah, I'll listen. And I think that's the great thing about voice acting in general, and something that I hope that the larger corporations understand is that people will follow their favorite voices.
Mm.
It's like, oh, if this person's in this, I'm going to listen to this or I'm going to watch that just because of this person. So if I see you in something, I'm like, I want to watch this because you do such a good job. So, um, thumbs up to you. You did a table read for The Simpsons.
No. So the Simpsons have table reads.
You Simpsons had a table read.
So Simpsons, they do table reads
Mm-hmm.
for their show, and a lot of the times they will allow someone to come in and observe, or a group of people, family members, friends, to come in and observe the
Mm-hmm.
table read, which is fun and it's such an honor.
Yeah, that's something because The Simpsons is it's an institution at this point.
It
I'm
is.
like,
I know. I'm like, I want to be a part of the Simpsons Club so bad. I'm like, if I just keep showing up, will you guys invite me to your club?
hey, you might, you never know. The more people see you, the more opportunity is there. So, The Simpsons is everybody has watched The Simpsons at some point in their life because
Yes.
it's gone on for so long, even if you fall away from it. Um, so I just finished watching the parades on Netflix. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So how was it to be a part of that?
That was my first dubbing experience, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really good. It was really good. I remember coming in, it was before I was on anything, and I remember the director coming in being like, "You're on that anime, right?" And I was like, "Not yet." I was like, "No, I'm not on anything," because nothing I had been on was out yet. So I was like, "No, I'm not on
Mm-hmm.
anything." But I don't know. Dubbing is like an art form in and of itself. I really appreciate that people are seeing it that way as well. I think it's like I always say because it moves like you have the lines. I'm like it's just like a fun little karaoke session.
Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I've never heard anybody like describe it like that, but that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, so this is a question that I think would be interesting. So we have like this rise in like Chinese animation,
Mm-hmm.
and so I To Be Hero X was like one of my favorite shows from last year, and I love Link Click and that sort of thing. So given your background, do you have like any interest in that?
Um, Honestly, no. I think I should be. I try to get into it more, but honestly, no. I haven't really gotten into any like Chinese television at all.
Mm,
Music wise, yeah. I'm like really into Sky is Your God right now. I got to see
mm,
him live for like the first time. It's so crazy because my friend's boyfriend was performing, and we went and we were backstage, and I'm talking to these guys in Mandarin, and I'm like, oh yeah, I speak Mandarin,
mm,
da da da. My dad's Chinese. I'm like da da da. I was like, 对不起,我中文不好. Like I was like being, and they're like, no no no, oh how. And I was like, and then we were asking this guy Warren, who was running the festival, because it was like a
mm.
basically like Chinese artist festival, and it was really
Okay.
popular. And we were asking him like, what's the lineup? And they were like, oh, this person, Sky is your god. I was like, Sky is your god? And and he was like, yeah, you just spoke to him. Like he was the guy you were just talking to. And I was like, that Sky is your god? Like I'm so not how do I say this? I don't know actors or like I know obviously like Rihanna or like
Uh-huh.
Beyonce or do you know what I mean? Like I know what they
Yeah.
look like because they're like in mainstream, but like I'll often like music and like things like I really like this Japanese band called Korinji, but like I have no
Mm,
idea what they look like. I have no idea what they look like. I've never seen a music video. I've never been to a concert. Like there is just like people that I will play every day that I have never even actors. Like my friends will be like, and this is Robin Steele, and I'm like, who the fuck is Robin? Like, you know what I mean? They'll be like,
yeah.
I'm like, what do they look like again? It was I can't even name an actor that happened the other day because I forget that fast. But like, they'll say these actors' names, and I'll be like, okay, like, I'll be like, all right, so
Yeah, I'm terrible at that too. Like I said, we worked at the airport, so we saw people like all the time. And if it
yes,
wasn't somebody like painfully obvious,
yes,
I was completely oblivious. But you had people that
oblivious.
like knew, like, shout out to my guy Dave. Like he knew everybody. It didn't matter who walked in. He's like, oh, that's so and so. Oh, that's so and so. Oh, that's so and so. And I'm like,
Who knows?
oh yeah, I do know who that is.
Yes, yeah, I'm
I
like,
know.
from what? I have to need a reference. I'm like, from what show?
Yeah,
I'm like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? I don't even know the Floopity Goop guy. What's his name? He played Floopity Goop in Spy Kids. The Goober guy. The one who's like
I
magic
know.
in the air. See, I don't know his
I
name,
know who you're talking
but I
about.
call
Can't.
him the Floopity Goober guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know who
Like,
you're talking about, but I can't. I.
don't know his real name. Sorry
It's
to this
over with.
man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I wasted all my memory on like useless sports stats in my youth, so
Okay.
I don't remember any of that stuff. Like I'll listen to a song, I'll be like, oh, I think I know who this is. Maybe the name sounds
Possibly.
familiar,
Yeah,
possibly.
exactly.
Um, so yeah, I was just interested in that because I'm like, it'll be kind of cool to see you like double cast it as
Yeah,
like
I'm
the
trying.
person
I
doing both.
actually asked my friend the other day because she's like from Singapore, and I was like,
Hmm.
if there's any like Mandarin voice acting classes, I would actually kind of would love to do like voice acting in China as well as like here. That'd be cool,
That'll be really cool.
right?
That'll be really cool. Um, so all right, I'm gonna dive into this question. So back uh maybe a couple months ago you put a post up just talking about your journey and the how you were in that moment and in the voice acting field and struggles that you go through and everything. Like what did that post mean to you, and how was it to get the response from the people that you got?
Um, I I honestly didn't expect the response. It was more just kind of like a fuck it mentality of
Mm,
like I think in LA especially, it's all about like appearances and everything is fine and everything is, and I felt like I was just in like a don't worry, darling kind of assimilation because I'm sure other people go through struggle. I'm sure, yeah, I'm like, I know I'm not the only one who's gone through struggle or any type of like obstacle in my life, but by playing this La La Land game with everyone, it just made it I had people who were open about their struggles, kind of perceiving me to have this like perfect life or perfect image about myself. which is far from the truth.
Mm,
And I just thought that there was a little bit more power in speaking to my flaws and the things that I've actually going through in real time than to like pretend everything is fine.
mm,
And I think the last 2 years, even though I've been a voice actor for the last 2 years, like I also like got divorced and I also experienced a miscarriage and I also like lost my home and I also, stopped working as my went from full-time to my job to part-time in my job, so I could pursue
mm,
acting. And it's just like a lot of changes that have happened in a span of like a couple months that's kind of affected me over the last 2 years. And that's the more I get to know people, and the people that are in my circle obviously know that about me, but I wasn't just speaking for myself. I was speaking for like the people that I'm surrounded by who also kind of, you know, wear a smile on their face and walk out every day, just putting their best foot forward, and people just having this complete misconception about them just because someone is smiling, just because someone is posting like a happy, like your people only post their happy moments on social media. And I know like I've gotten in this space now where I'm just like I'm just gonna post every moment.
mm,
Happy, sad, lazy. Like I don't give a fuck anymore because like that's just real and authentic to me. And when I'm doing it, I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for the people in my life that are also going through it, the people that are close to me that
mm,
are also going through the same mental struggles and battles, you know, because it's like I don't want people to think that like everything is everything, the grass is always greener on the other side, but like I don't want people to think, to get here and then be like it was all a fallacy, because I genuinely got to that point where I was like I'm going to be a
mm,
full-time actor, and I'm like whoa, it's a fallacy. But then everyone's like yeah, it actually really sucks and this and that, and like you'll get used to pivoting and you'll get used to this. But it's like why don't you advertise that? Like why didn't you,
mm.
you know what I mean? Like people would
Yeah.
move so differently. Like why won't you say that this is what it is? Because I feel like people would be a lot, you know what I mean? Like that people would be do a lot more. Do people would do things more because it's their calling and less because of what they think that it can bring them. Right?
Yes.
I hear so many
Absolutely.
people being like, "Oh, I became a content creator to be a voice actor." Just be a voice actor, right? Because then you're like, because people have glamorized content creating, but it's actually a lot of fucking work, right?
Yes.
It's like it's
Yeah.
so much like video editing. You have to really love content creation to, do you know what I mean? So it's like you're
Yes.
wasting your best years. You're not putting your best foot forward. And I think like people just need to be like it's great to like love what you do, but also people need to be more open about the actual struggles of it all. People now, when people tell me, I understand it now, because I used to ask voice actors, and I used to be like, how is it being a voice actor? I've always thought about being a voice actor. But now when I hear people say that to me, I'm like, if only they knew. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
if only they knew like you're constantly being rejected. You might get an agent and you might send in, 100 auditions a month and never hear back. There are people, people are like, you're so lucky for being booked at all, because like I haven't been booked in 3 years. You know what I mean? And like it's like
mm,
what are they doing in those 3 years?
right.
They've picked up a full-time job. They have rent to pay. They have to feed themselves. They have to, you know what I mean? So they've kind of
Yeah.
like chosen to, live this life for the possibility of booking a role. You know what I mean? It's just very like it's so, and I don't want to be disheartening about it. I just want to be real about it, because I mean, I don't regret becoming a voice actor, and I don't regret pursuing acting, but I feel like I would have done it. I don't know. I feel like I would be in a completely different situation now. And maybe that's just like, but you hear everyone, right? You hear everyone in like in these spaces, and they do get jaded to a certain point, and maybe I've hit that jadedness, but I genuinely feel like being real and authentic about the real experiences of having certain jobs is the most helpful you can be to youth.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Um, I after doing these interviews for a bit now, it's you hear most everybody says like it's not easy. It's not easy because, like you said, you didn't hear back from for Rooster Fighter for like a year. It's like, and that was a big role. And it's just like a year goes by, and that year, you don't know if you booked it. It's like I don't to be able to constantly like work yourself up to go and send in these auditions and to hear no or even worse hear nothing
Yeah.
and not know where the next role is going to come from or whatever, like it's
And there's nuances to it as well because even though people are making strides to book, LGBTQ, POC,
mm,
it's still not enough. And I don't think it will ever be enough.
yeah,
And that's why indie animation is on the rise because at that
yes,
point we've kind of created our own spaces. And I was talking to people who were, you know, doing their own indie animation, and I was talking to Joshua David King for Project Super Crush, their audio drama
mm,
series. And it's kind of like you have to make your own. It's sad that you have to make your own spaces for it, but like in doing that, like we're just I don't know, we're just like lifting up each other. It's just so I think that's why indie animation is on the rise. It's authentic. It's it's and it speaks to people who are like really truly being like unseen in these spaces and like these communities.
mm,
100%. I think that, like I said, I think that, like I said, I had a great experience at Bing Zoom being my first anime session of like having all those women behind me, POC people behind me. I think there are moments, but like I said, it was a big spoiler. It was a big spoiler because that doesn't come very often.
mm,
Um, and at the end of the day, too, it's like even though this is what I'm going to say on that. Even though we are seeing people make strides and leaps in the animation anime video game community in terms of actors and acting, the people that they cast and the people that they cast on a regular and the people that they have in these spaces on a regular still have a higher, closer, more profound proximity to whiteness
mm.
than other people.
I get what you're saying 100%.
And like I recognize that there's privilege even in, do you know what I mean? I recognize that there's
Yes,
privilege even in being half Asian. I recognize there's half East Asian. Do you know what I mean? Because
yes, absolutely.
I'm not hearing from Southeast Asians. There are Southeast Asian voice actors are extremely hard to come. You know what I mean? Extremely hard to come by.
Hmm.
Why is that? To me, do you know what I mean? Like I feel like there are so many nuances to things, and I'm not trying to discredit anyone who is like, you know, actively working right now, but I do want to say that anyone who is POC that is actively working right now, that is solely fully funded by voice acting, making a living off of voice acting 100%, has a close proximity to whiteness.
And that's a heavy statement. And it's like I said, there's strides that are being made, but there's still a long way to
Way
go.
to go.
There's still a long way to go. Like even
I
in the stuff that we watch,
yes.
it's like, I would see something and I'm just like, oh, what was I watching? I was watching some anime. And then I saw like some dude in blackface, and I'm like, we're still here.
Yeah.
Like we're still doing this. It
It's
gets
it's disheartening sometimes. I feel
yeah.
that's the biggest problem. And that's also why I made that post too, because I'm like, there's so much nuance that comes with even me being like black and
Mm,
half Asian in like you know what I mean. When I do my voiceover auditions, I have a Kimoy Lee. I have a pretty
mm,
Asian name. You know what I mean? I don't sound as many people have told me I don't have an African American vernacular. Like it's you know what I mean? It's very and
yeah.
so it's very when I come sometimes when I come into certain spaces, people are a little bit shocked that you know what I mean, and they were expecting to see someone a little bit different than I.
Mm,
And so it's just very it's I was having this argument online the other day with someone. I be fighting online with people, I really do. But basically a girl was like, "Well, Hollywood, I know it's not what we want, but Hollywood is making strides with like Hudson Williams and like Velvet and like we're making leaps, so like it's almost our turn." And I'm like, no one in the history who's ever made a change had said it's almost our turn. They
right.
fought tooth and nail for it. Imagine
Exactly.
if slaves were just like, it's almost our turn to freedom. Don't worry, guys. Just wait 1 second. Wait, hold on. They are being nicer to like these people. And so I think we're almost there. No, it was like standing up and I very much think I think especially in the acting community to not like piss off any like head honchos or casting
Hmm.
people, where people very much are like brown nosing or like bending at the will to this or that. And that post for me was kind of more of like a I don't really give a fuck. Like, do you know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
you have to speak up. Like no
Yeah.
one like closed mouths don't get fed, And if I have to speak up for what I've seen around in these spaces, even as someone who's not like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm not uh like I'm not a Southeast Asian. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm not even a black woman who was raised in America. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
so many things. Like you just have to know your privilege and but know I'm like with what little privilege I have, I'm going to use that to speak to what I see happening because it has to change. And change is
Hmm.
not going to happen if we don't call it out.
Yeah. It's being an ally is very important too. And there are always in any struggle, there's going to be allies that are part of the dominant society that is going to take for some of them to those allies to give the opportunity to be like, all right, no, we're doing wrong. Let's do this. And like you said, we shouldn't have to wait for a turn. This is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment doesn't have to be there. It 100% does not have to be there. It brings it's nice to be able to sit down and watch your favorite show or read your favorite book or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not vital to life. So there's no this it's fiction. If it's fictional, there's no reason why there can't be space for everyone.
All right, like and I was like, notice the people that I play. I was telling, other than like the
Mhm.
the little Kev, I
Mhm.
play little animals.
Yeah.
I play like tiny, and I love to play tiny. I know my voice is like fit for tiny little animals and stuff like that, but there is room and there is space, and I think that people need to like open their eyes a little bit to that and see that.
Mhm. No, I agree, and that was something that that I was interested in. Like, I was going to ask you, do you sometimes like feel like you're put in a box because of your voice, because of the, you know,
All the time I feel like I'm put in a box because of my voice, but it's also my job to keep people aware of my range.
yes.
That's something that I'm like, I never bitch and complain about being the small, always playing the kid or being the small thing, because that is something that is my that's just my range. Like
Right.
that's not my range, but that's just like my natural where my voice sits comfortably. So like obviously that's my bread and butter. It is my job as an actor. Like your agents, they're doing their 100%. Their 100% is like 10% of like what you're supposed to be doing. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like you are very much a team with your agent. Agents don't magically give you the role. They don't like their job is to give you the opportunity. Your job is to nail the opportunity that they give you, right? And so I if I wanted the opportunity to play a mother or an elderly woman or whatever, I first need to show them that I can even do that consistently and well. And I can't
Mm-hmm.
say I don't think I can do like my lower register as well as I can do my higher register characters. And there's some characters that really resonate with me and some characters that don't. And maybe that'll come with age or whichever. But I think that, it's very much a just knowing where you who you are and where what your strengths are, and not saying that you can't do it. Like I would love to play a man. I say this to my agents all the time. I was like, I'd love to play a man one of these days. I just want to know what
Mm-hmm.
it feels like. I just want to, you know what I mean? I just want to know what it
Yeah.
feels like to be toxic a little bit. Uh, so, but like, I have to show them that, you know what I mean? I think like keep not being scared of your agents and not like, seeing them as like your team member and as your like friend, and really just like showing them, like a lot of the times I'll email my agents and I'll be like, hey, I took this class and this class and this class and this is what I came up with, and this is my lower register, and I'm practicing this and I'm working on this language and I'm working on
Mhm.
this, you know what I mean, keeping like living. And that's part of being an actor. I mean, I've learned that acting is a lot of actors carry a lot of trauma. A lot of actors are people who have walked through life. You don't necessarily, I've never been to theater school. I've never done theater. I've never stepped on a stage. I
Mhm.
recently took improv for the first time. And, but I think a lot of like my acting chops come from the life experiences that I've had, because I've lived a crazy life, and
Mhm.
I've been through so many things. And I often find that like those amazing, amazing actors that we know and see today have lived amazing lives, have, you know what I mean, like, and have are living life to the fullest. And I don't know where it is where like I became an actor and then all of a sudden felt like I stopped living
Mhm.
because I got too wrapped in the acting. And I'm like, and now I'm like in the sense of like, okay, no, now I'm back to living my full life, and so I can cater to my acting. You know what I mean? So I can
Yeah,
really channel that.
that's interesting. I love comedy, and so but that's something that I've heard like all throughout. Like, some of the funniest people have some of the most trauma that you could think of. That humor comes from a place of pain,
Yep.
and they're able to just channel it in that way. But circling back to what you said earlier, it's just like you never know what anybody is going through. And
Yeah.
they may be able to laugh through it or smile, but behind the smile, there's a whole person that you don't know about. Like, I had a discussion with one of my coworkers recently, and she was talking about her struggles and everything. I was like, yeah, I understand. And she's like, "Oh, you smile all you smile all the time." Like, I have the lowest self esteem ever. Like, I don't
Mm,
I don't think very highly of myself at all. And that's a challenge that I've always had. But it's like, I combat that with thinking through it.
yeah.
That's just my opinion of myself. But if it wasn't me, if this was somebody else, would I still have the same opinion?
Yeah.
If it's
That's
no, it's
real.
like this is just me, so you never um that that pain or that those struggles that
Yes.
people go through, it's something that we can all connect with.
Yeah.
And
And that's why, it's very just reminding people that you're not invincible.
exactly, and that's the importance of like being seen, you
Mm,
know and being, it's like I appreciate you saying that, like, hey, I'm going to share everything, because it's like it's important for people to see, like, it's not all sunshine and roses. Like
yeah.
this, there's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard.
Whatever you're in, that's why I'm like, I
Hmm.
feel like if you're a doctor, people avoid med school, right? Because they're like, it's so
Yeah.
hard. Like if acting wasn't so glamorized and people knew like the reality of it, if you are comfortable with not knowing when your next paycheck is going to be, not knowing when your next job is going to be, kind of pivoting, having multiple jobs,
Hmm.
being talented in other areas of your life, if you're comfortable with that, then by all means, you know what I mean? But like, it's
Hmm.
not advertised that way. It's like if you like to be on red carpets and you have so
Hmm.
much emotional depth, maybe you should be an actor. And it's like so there's like ghetto shit in this, and it's
Hmm.
just so ghetto. It's so ghetto. And I've also learned that friendship is everything. And I,
Yeah.
I, I, I love my friendship, and I love friendships, and I love my community. And I I value those extremely. I value myself. I value my hobbies, and I think that it's just like the whole person makeup, right? Like when you work a corporate job, those corporate baddies very much clock out at 5 and they'll be at happy hour. Where is that for actors? I haven't seen
Hmm.
that because actors make their life about acting. Whether their extra thing is a theater thing, and then they're doing this and then they're doing that. There's no like clock out. And obviously a lot of that has to do with like financial reasons of like needing to waitress and needing to like do this and that and have this extra income. But like I think having a hobby or having a passion that's outside of what you are doing is so good for your mental health.
You see, we're like right here, because that's what I was going to transition to, like, being in that space, and like you said, having to deal with that, and the hardships that come through it, just like how important is like the support system that you have around you to be able to help you get through those tough times.
Yeah, I think it's like picking and choosing. I think like I well, family is a different story because you can't pick and choose your family, but you can
Right.
pick and choose who you keep around you.
Absolutely.
And there's like I love my family, and I can rely on my family emotionally. I can say that now. Um, Picking and choosing my friends has been a battle for the last 2 years, but like I said earlier, in this interview, that I think I found my forever family through Cookie Run, through a lot of people that are close to me that I consider like my chosen family that I see like my life with. And so I just I think it's so important to have that. You know what I mean? And you know what's crazy is a lot of my friends are actors,
Hmm.
but we don't talk about acting. We talk about so many other things and so much other stuff, and like right now like me and my friend are experiencing like Michael Jackson psychosis, where we're
Hmm.
just like all like we love Michael Jackson. Yeah, like you know what I mean, like we
uh,
love him so much, let's go see the movie again for the third time, kind of thing. But like I just have like I'm just grateful for the people that I have in my life, where it's like reciprocal, and it's we very much carry each other. And I think it's just really important to have that, have people that are out, even if they are in the same field as you, because that's a lot of what I see a lot of the times with actors, especially voice actors, is they'll band up with voice actors, but then all they want to
mm,
talk about together is acting. And it just creates this like crazy loop. And it can drive you absolutely crazy because I do believe that actors need to step away from acting for a couple of hours in the day or a couple of days out of the week at
Hmm.
some point, you know? And so I think that I very much think that I very much think that even if you have friends that are actors, make sure they're your friends not because you're actors, but because you have this common thing. Make sure it's because
Hmm.
it's you have other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very interesting perspective. And it could that could be applied anywhere. That could be
Anywhere,
applied
right?
anywhere,
Obviously you're friends with doctors, you know what I mean? But when you come home,
Hmm.
do you really want to be talking to Sally about the freaking colonoscopy y'all
Right.
did earlier? Do you know what I mean? Like
Right,
you
right.
want to talk to someone about like my friend very much, one of my best friends from childhood. I went to visit her in New York for her baby, and she's a corporate baddie.
Mm,
And she's talking like business and deals and consulting and all that kind of stuff. But when we like meant to meet up her friends, so like when we're talking like to friends, it's not really like work that we're talking about. We're talking about like Real Housewives of New York City, okay? Like what is
hmm.
Beth, you know what I mean? What is Bethany
Yeah.
Frankel doing? Like we're kikiing, we're having a good time, and we'll fixate off of like that, and not we'll fixate off of that and not you know
The work stuff.
the work stuff. It's very much decompressing and like
Yeah. Yeah, if you're never outside of that person, you're never going to be able to you can lose who
exactly.
you are, you know. So it's definitely important to have that boundary, to set
Yeah.
that boundary to have that for sure. All right, just a couple more questions, and I promise I'm not going to keep you forever.
Oh no, you're
Um,
good. Sorry if I'm like my mom called me at some point. Like I know you can't
it's
see it, but I'm like
okay.
she's like, what's the Netflix password? I'm like, girl, I was like, I'm on a podcast right now. I can't even talk.
It's all right. No, that's a very important thing because
I don't know what it is
I'm
about black
looking.
moms, but that's the new pass me the remote. The new
Yeah,
pass me the remote is what's the Hulu code? What's the Netflix password? Oh
yeah.
my God, it happens at the most inconvenient times and they're blowing up your phone. It's crazy.
Yeah, I get it because I'm definitely the password plug, and I'm
Yes.
like, here's the password.
Girl, look
Don't
it up. I'm like, at this
don't
point, look
sign
it
out.
up.
Do not sign out. Leave it here. This is the
Yes.
password. And then inevitably, like every time I go visit my parents, it's like, yeah, can you fix the TV again?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I'll fix it. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. It never happens. Um, um, well, anyways, I thought you were phenomenal as Pyoko in Rooster Fighter.
Oh, thank
Like,
you.
must protect at all cost character. That's front runner for me for 2026.
Oh.
Like, what did that character mean to you? Because like I see that character and she was like a little firecracker. And
Um, I think Pyoko is definitely a character that's prepped me for a lot of characters in my a lot of future characters that you're going to see from me.
mm,
Um, I I think a candy apple cookie from Cookie Run Kingdom
mm,
was like a precursor to Pyoko. For Candy Apple Cookie, it was very much like she's a fangirl. She's obsessed
mm,
with, her leader kind of like father figure. And so slipping into that kind of like Pyoko was very much that for me. I'm really good at being a fangirl, and I don't know if it has to do with like my fangirl past of like just being like a One Direction fan and
mm,
like but it's just something I can slip into. But she ended up being like more than a fangirl and something that evolved into like her own.
yeah.
It's very like her story and her journey is very much like feel how I felt coming into voice acting. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Very naive, very like go getter. Like I'm gonna do this, and it's my duty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Hmm.
gotta do it. And then like even with the harsh realities, for me it's like the Olaf character, right? Like you know how Olaf
Okay.
is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's harsh things and like real time, real themes happening, but you're still like prevailing and you're still,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a strong, strong chick. Um, but playing her has been a blessing, and like I said, Chrissy Simone, um, was directing it, and I never felt so safe and so comfortable in a booth. I was spoiled again.
Mhm.
And like, I think that Studiopolis is an amazing studio in a sense of like they're very much of like a family and a family hub. And when you walk into there, it just feels like a warm hug, and it just feels like purposeful. I feel like a lot of the projects they record and a lot of things they do is on purpose, and there's a lot of thought that goes into it. I think yes, there's a lot of deadlines, but they treat their people like family.
Mhm.
Um, and I appreciate that, and I love studios that are like that. So it was just an honor to work with everyone, and everyone, all the like my co-cast has been so amazing. I've met Patrick a handful of times
Mhm.
at cons, and we've chatted like over social media, and like that's just like such an honor because it's Patrick Seitz. And then, Lucy as well, like
Mhm.
she reached out to me like the first day the like Pyoko came out and was like, "You are just so cute as Pyoko." And I was just like, "This is like such an honor because this is Honey Senpai." And like
Yeah.
on my demo, my at-home demo that I sent to all the agencies when I was first voice acting, that's the first voice I did. I
Mm.
did
Oh,
like
really?
yes, it was like um it's just you and me, Usa-chan. Everyone else said they were too busy. Like the I love cake. Like the whole, and I'm like, it's just such a full circle moment just to like be in these like spaces. Like it definitely like my younger self was definitely alive. But playing Pyoko, like I had so much fun, and so there were actually every moment that you see her cry on the show, I was crying in the booth. Like
Okay.
every moment she was crying, like I'm not gonna do any spoilers if no one's seen it, but like every moment she was crying, I was actually crying. And there were moments where like the engineer was like, "Do you need a moment?" And I was like, "No, I'm okay. It's so cute." Because I wanted to like get in character. I very
Yeah.
much do that. Like anything that I've ever done where I've had to cry on a role, I put myself in the character's shoes. Um, and so I find myself being like super, super emotional. So I don't know. I love Pyoko and I want to get a duty tattoo,
Do
right?
it. Do it. I got five on it. Yeah, Pioka was all that was by far my favorite character in the show.
Oh,
As
she's
crazy and
much more
chaotic as it was.
important she's much more important than I thought she would be if you read
Yeah,
the
way
manga.
more.
Because I read them when I got cast for the role, I had read the manga up to the
Hmm.
point where she like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I remember having lunch with my agent. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be there for long though. And then the other chapters came out, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I will. And then I'm like reading the manga more, and I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, oh wow. I'm fingers crossed for season two. Um, but like, I'm like, this is great. Like,
Yeah, because it was just like more and more Pyoko as it went on.
in
So
the
I'm
end, I was like, holy shit. I was like, she's really a mystery. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Very much the Anya in Spy Family.
yeah.
It
Hmm.
reminded me of Spy Family, you know?
I get that. I get that. That same type of character.
Yes. I
It's
also love
just
Anya too I love Spy Family.
I like Anya too. Like I tried so hard. Like cause it's we recently a couple weeks like 2-3 weeks ago we had our anime convention. Like Anime Central was here,
Yeah.
and like I tried so hard to like get an Anya concert for my baby or a cosplay for my
Aw,
baby. I just couldn't find one in time. But like I'm like next convention, that's what she's gonna be. She's gonna be
Anya. I
Anya.
love that.
She's gonna be Anya. Like she
But it's
went,
very much that Anya Lloyd
yeah,
relationship.
very much so, very much so. But it's a she's a fun character and like I said, she stole the show from me
Oh, thank you.
easily, easily. Um, okay, one of my favorite shows is Medalist. I just want to put that out there. One of my
Oh,
favorite
okay.
shows is Medalist.
Skating. I've
Yeah,
skated.
I had no like Medalist is so good it had me watching the Winter Olympics.
I'm dead. Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh snap! The quad guy is pulling off these moves, and just because I watched Medalist. So like, how was it to play a role in Medalist, which is like a really like everybody that watches it like swears by this show and the manga, but it seems to be a
I
little underrated.
I I love Medalist. I hadn't actually heard of it. And you know what's crazy is that when they were doing the first round of auditions for all the main characters, I
Mm-hmm.
passed on those auditions.
Really?
Because I was in the midst of my miscarriage. So
Oh, okay.
I remember like being like telling my agents and being like, I'm going to Italy and Croatia for like 2 months. I'm not gonna do anything. Um, and the person who was casting at the time, Rachel Slotke, I feel like I've taken a bunch of classes with her. It's an honor to be casted by Rachel because she is, she's doing, I feel like she's like her casting mark on the anime industry as a whole. She's placed really, really amazing people.
Mhm.
And she puts thought into every single character that she does. And so when the second round of auditions came in for the other characters, I was out of a dark place, and I don't know, it just felt like everything just felt right and easy. It's another situation where I was spoiled because you have like Christine V and like
Mhm.
Morgan Bailey Keaton like directing. So it's like you again, I was like, I've been spoiled a lot actually. But essentially like I don't know, I just that show is was one of those like I think it's gonna be one of those like underrated
Yeah,
animes, but then like when you like it has a cult following because it's such a good anime.
yeah.
I think like down like the line in like a few years, it's gonna be one of those animes that are like, oh my God, you are on like you know what I mean? Like I feel like for example, like Host Club wasn't as popular when it was coming out,
Yeah.
but then you've had like you know what I mean?
It's everywhere now.
It's
It's
everywhere
everywhere.
and it's been like 20 years. And you
Yeah.
were either there when you were there, but if you weren't, you're like a fan. And I think that that's the medalist gives me those vibes.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, Hulu did it no service with how they released it this time this year, which like
Yeah,
really upset me. But
it really upset me too because I was like, I'm trying to when is the date? I wanted to but I mean, I think that's why it always happens like something like it's always the ones that get
mm,
released funny or like
yeah.
it's like something like that where like 10 years down the line people are like this is the best thing since sliced bread.
Mm,
So
it's gonna. I hope it has that. I hope it has that because it really is good. I mean, it's the Hulu and Disney Plus has that weird thing going on already, so I'm
yes.
sure it's kind of lost in the shuffle there.
Yeah.
But I hope, I really do hope that it does because I never thought that I would be this invested in ice skating.
Ice skating.
Never in my life did I think this. Um, one of my favorite shows from last season was Shiba Yugi playing death games to put food on the table.
Yeah.
So So how was it to play what is it, Chie?
Yay.
Yeah.
It was really good. I am terrified of horror and I hate horror and it was really scary. So to record it, I was like scared constantly. And then I was like, oh my God. I was like, what? Oh. People were like, and they were like, the way the show was being described to me is like, and when they die, it looks like cotton coming out
Uh-huh.
instead of blood. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, oh, this is okay. Um, but an honor to be on it. It was such an amazing jam-packed cast. I love that it was like obviously it's like maybe you shouldn't put girls in death games, but I do love that a lot of the cast was women.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just felt like an honor. Like I think that was a fun one. It was a fun one where like I was on with friends that I know and have and I was like, "Oh my God, you're on this. Oh my God, we're on this." Ah! Kind of thing. So it was very cool.
Yeah, it was I liked it. And I'm not a horror guy at all. I
No,
don't
it's
like
kind of
horror.
thriller horror.
Yeah, it was more of that like psychological thriller type thing. And
Yes.
I could get jiggy with that.
The
So
Japanese, man, they be coming up with some
they come up with some stuff.
their minds, the way their
They
minds work. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, they come up with some stuff. And I'm like, when the whole
It's
cotton blood thing
genius.
happened, I was like,
Yes,
who
it's very
comes up with
genius.
this?
Though their ability to do horror and it's really it's incredible to think of certain the things that they think of. It's incredible.
It really is. Um, so you did San Diego Comic Con, which is
Yes.
like every geek's dream. So how was it to attend, first of all, attend that Comic Con and then to, present a panel?
It was really surreal, and I didn't know how lucky I was to do it. Like my first year of voice acting to just be at San Diego Comic-Con.
Mm,
And my agents were super nice and they made me feel like so big that weekend. I just remember feeling so hopeful about the future and like just I don't know, it was just very the whole weekend was really surreal and I'm learning that I've been lucky, really lucky my first year and I hope to continue to be as lucky.
mhm. Was there like any like imposter syndrome or anything that was going on
Oh,
there?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. There was so much imposter syndrome. There was so much like, oh, I don't know, I don't know this and that. But I also met like some really good people, and really good friends, and it just made me grow closer to the people that are in my life
Mhm.
now.
So do you like enjoy conventions or
They make
like
me nervous. They make me
mhm.
nervous. I love conventions. I used to go to Anime Expo every year just
Uh-huh.
off like being a fan. But the last time I went, I started to get recognized for candy apple cookie stuff. And it just made me a little nervous. I have a lot of social anxiety. So it just makes me a
Mhm.
little nervous when like people are like, are you Kimoy? Because I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Because like
yeah,
someone said that one day, and I was like, the last day I was at Anime Expo last year, and they're like, "You Kimoy Lee," and I was like, "Who's that?" I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like, you know what I mean? So
hmm
it's a very like, I think I'm a little bit more prepared this time, but I think that's people haven't seen me in cons or like do conventions either, just because I feel like I want to do conventions when I have a bigger resume and bigger roles under my belt. I think I'm definitely
hmm
open to doing panels and stuff, but I don't think I'll be open to like doing the whole spiel like
hmm
I see a lot of voice actors do. I think right now I'm still in the phase of just enjoying going to cons and like buying stuff, emptying my wallet out and you know what I mean and like
Yeah,
just hanging
yeah.
out with my friends and like doing fun stuff. I think I don't want to turn it like you know how they say like if you love Disneyland like don't work at Disneyland. That's kind of how
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel.
yeah.
Like if I work cons, am I gonna be like, ugh, I gotta, because you have like deadlines, and then people. I see people. There's so many people that I see like that do like Project Super Crush, for example.
hmm
From Joshua David King, we did Niji Fest, and I helped like handle a little and like moderate their panel, and like the way Joshua's like ability to say hi to people every single day and explain all of these like you know what I mean explain their story like
hmm
people were coming up to the booth like line, next person, signing this, signing that. And the way that they're able to like by the first day I came, I was like all cute in a cute little outfit. The second day I was like moderating the panel, so I came in like my tutu and my girls love shirt. And by the third day I wore glasses and a hoodie. And I was like, I am over this. I was sitting on the floor. I was like, I'm tapped out. And like Josh just showed up every day like yes, and this is Project Super Crush, and da da da, and this is, this is a BL story. There's two boys, and they're in college, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, just like
Mm.
amazed by, like, you know what I mean? My friend Shara Kirby, like, will do cons every now and then, and like, I just am amazed at the ability to just, like, sit there and, like, just have a smile for everyone. I ain't got all that, I'm sorry.
I couldn't imagine. Like it's
Even with the breaks I see them take, I'm like, I think I would still. I'm also I'm so candid. Like I'm such a candid person, so I can see myself saying things that like I don't have like a PR trained mouth. So like I just say whatever is in my head, and so like I can imagine myself saying something and like possibly like maybe possibly offending someone in some
yeah.
way. And I'm like
Yeah.
I need to be like a little bit more like ready for that. Even when I was moderating the panel, there were so many moments where I was like, "Don't say fuck, don't say shit, don't say like you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like don't say this,
Yes.
don't say that." Like even doing the
Trust me.
panel for San Diego Comic Con, BET was like, "Are you sure you want to wear a mustache for your thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro, this is me."
Yeah.
And then even like when they were asking me questions, I was like, I answered. When it was time for my mic, I picked up the mic and I was like, and I like tapped the thing and they were like,
Mm.
this is all child, like this is all ages, like you can't. I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, never mind, we're just gonna pass through that. We're gonna pass through that. We're gonna go through that. If you actually like watch the panel, there were so many moments where I was like, but I feel like that mustache made me comfortable. But yeah, I was like in the green room being like, yeah, I'm ready. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've had the privilege of presenting a few panels at Fan Expo. And so like I know like the very first time we did it, like I just like we were kind of like on a hiatus from doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And like we always go to conventions anyway. And I was just like, let me throw something out there. It doesn't. I was like bored at work one day. I was like, oh, I'll apply for us to get a panel. And then when they like
Said
approved it,
yeah.
I was like, what?
Wait, wait,
Like,
wait. Just gotta look
hold on,
into
wait.
it.
There was no catch, no nothing, and it was like, no, here, yeah, do it, and here's some free badges for the weekend and everything. And I was like, that
Damn. Yeah, I'm like,
that's it.
isn't that crazy? When you get it, you're like, fuck, now I gotta work.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah. Yeah. So then we're like walking to the room and everything, and you see like people lined up out there to go in the panel rooms. You're like, I wonder what they're going in there for. And then when we sit down, like the room is starting to feel like, whoa,
Yeah.
they're here to
Like,
see us.
oh, this is real. You have people asking questions and stuff like that. There was
Yeah.
on the Project Super Crush panel, there was a moment where I was like, I blanked out for a second because I had like was looking through the laptop and I was like, la la la, and I was thinking about Sanrio and I literally blanked on the question. And so I was like, yeah, um. So, how did you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was playing with the little clicker in my hand. I was realizing I was fucking moving the slides in the back. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, it happens. You know
Yes.
that it definitely happens. Like a tad more seasoned now, but that first time, like we did Full Metal Alchemist versus Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like which one was
I
better?
love Full Metal Brotherhood.
See,
Brotherhood is better.
I liked Full Metal. I like the ending of Brotherhood better, but I like Full Metal Alchemist more. And so we did that. And so my other two co-hosts were doing it. And I just kind of hosted. And then at the end, we like took questions and they're like, so what do you think? And
Um,
that was like the first time like I thought about like I never said anything this whole time. I was just kind of letting them go at it.
cruising around.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, ugh. But it's a fun that imposter syndrome it
It's
definitely hits you.
real. It's definitely real.
It's real, but it's fun, and it was a nice little wrinkle because, like you said, you go to conventions and it's like, all right, I'm going there for fun. You're going there to see panels, and it's like now you're
Now
now you're
you're
actually
hosting
on
one.
this day.
Yeah.
It added a different layer to it.
Yeah.
Um, so last two questions. What are your future goals in terms of acting? I know you said you want to get into Disney, and I
Yes.
absolutely think that you would be like perfect
Thank
for that.
you.
I
I want to
really
be
do.
a Disney princess. That's my goal, or like I want to have a Pixar lead. Like I would love to have like a Turning Red type of lead or be like a
Great
Moana.
movie. Great movie.
I love Turning Red.
Mm,
I would love to be like a Turning Red kind of situation or like a Moana. I think
okay.
I'd even be happy with like a lead in a show,
Hmm.
for Disney. But I think like the ultimate where I feel like I'll be able to sleep through the night is like a big Disney movie.
I would love to see that. Disney, we're gonna put this out there. You have one right here. Just
Right?
perfect for whatever you do.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect. Um, and I just want to say thank you because you were very vulnerable and open with a lot of things. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh, thank
And I just
you.
wanted to check in and see how you're doing, like now, like mentally, emotionally. Are you in a better place? Are you?
It's a roller coaster. Some days are good, some days are difficult. I think I got off the trip and I was like this trip to visit my friend and I'm just like a little drained.
Mhm.
And feeling on and right now, if I'm being honest, I'm in a space where I'm like not doing auditions. I'm like too like I'm a little burnt out. I'm thinking about going back into being a full-time doula
Mhm.
for a little while just so I can like get on my feet and like afford the things I need to afford. Um, and that's just kind of like where I'm at. And that's today. Who knows what
Yeah.
tomorrow will be?
Who knows what tomorrow will be? Well, you're a friend here. Um, and I'm officially inducting you into the 950 Club Recording Booth Hall of Fame
Aw, thank
for giving you the Golden
you.
Mike Award. So, what are like the defining roles that you've had? Like, what are a couple ones that you say like I think this is my best work?
My best work.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Lil Kev.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't I will say that it wasn't my best work because I was so new and so green and I look back at it and I know I could do better and I am doing better. But I would say that, you know, Dirty Dante was a defining role for me. And made me truly believe that I could do it. And then I will say that Candy Apple Cookie is some of my best work. And continues to be. And Pyoko. And then there are some things also that are not out yet. But
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I would say that those three are kind of like pivotal moments in my career.
That's perfect. Well, thank you for once again for joining us.
Thank you so
And
much.
I just want to give you the opportunity now to like plug yourself, your socials, anything that you want
Yes.
people to
My TikTok
support.
is Kimoy Lee _. My Instagram is Kimoy Lee _. You can check out my website. But if you can, check out my June 9th is an audiobook coming out of an amazing book, Why We Fight the Tide by Giselle Vreeson, and it comes out June 9th. And I love Giselle, and I'm so honored to put a voice to her second installment of this series. I would check out Why We Play with Fire and Why We Fight the Tide as a book in general because I think it's just an amazing and it's been an amazing experience to narrate.
All right. I'll definitely have those links in the description. I will be
Yeah.
checking out I will check out those audiobooks. I give you my word.
Yeah.
I'll check those audiobooks out now and I'll reach back out to you to fanboy about the job that you did.
Oh, you're so
so
sweet.
so thank you. You're a
Thank
friend of
you
the show
so
now.
much.
You're always welcome. And I hope that everything goes well with you. Things turn around. You always have a friend and a fan here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you. It's such an honor to be on your podcast and to thank you for your questions and for your this open, amazing space safe space that you've created for your interviewees.